Hi everyone, welcome to Invent Academy at the University of Michigan. This is our introduction to Excel. And my name is Lindsay. I'm a sophomore studying math right now at Michigan, and my favorite food is chicken nuggets.
And I'm Sarah. I'm a sophomore in mechanical engineering, and my favorite food is mac and cheese. And I'll be going over the Excel demo portions of today's video, and Lindsay will be going over the slides.
Perfect. So here's just a little bit of an agenda over our video today. So we're first going to do an overview of functions, and then from there explain how to solve different types of problems, such as figuring out the maximum or minimum of certain data sets. And then we're going to go through those data sets and graph them and create charts as well. And then we'll finish off with different usage of Excel and STEM courses. And then the materials that are needed for today's video is a Gmail account with access to Google Sheets and a computer, which you all obviously have. And then we're going to start off by clicking this link, and then this will be used for the demo portion of today's video. And for you to have a copy at home, you're going to go to File and then make a copy. And you can title this whatever you'd like and put it in any folders that you would like and just press OK. We're not going to do that because this is our original copy. But yeah, and then that will allow us to allow you to follow along. And then, so here are some of the main different equations that you'll need for today's video. To calculate the sum of two numbers, you're gonna type in =, sum, and then the first number, and then a comma, and then the second number in the parentheses. And you can also do this with specific cells, which Sarah will explain more about during the demo portion. And then for multiplying, you're gonna do an =, and then your first number, the little asterisk, and then the second number. And then for divide, you're gonna do the =, and then the first number is / the second number. And then to find the minimum and maximum, it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll just do =, min or max, and then all of the numbers, and there's no limit to that. And it's super important to follow this proper syntax. Otherwise, there will be various issues.
Lots of errors.
Yeah. Perfect. So now we're going to show you how to do some of these functions, and then we'll have an interactive activity for you to follow along, or for you to try yourself.
Yes. So first, we're going to go back to the Excel link and go back to your copy, and there's a bunch of different tables that are already set up for you. So first, make sure you're in the intro calculations tab at the bottom, and there's a tab or a section where it says sum function. So here we have different kinds of desserts and different amounts of each. So to find the sum of these, you're going to type in =, like we said, you're going to type out sum, parentheses, and then you can either type all the numbers like 12, 36. Don't forget the comma, 4, 8, 16, and then parentheses, and then press enter. That will give you the sum of 96. Or you can go in =, open parentheses. You can go press on the first number and drag down to the last, finish with the parentheses, and then press enter, and it'll give you the same number. Okay, moving on to the multiply section, you are given the desserts again with the amount of desserts you want to buy as well as the price of each dessert. So to find the cost or the total cost, you're going to want to put an =, and then you're going to want to find the amount multiplied by the price, find the total cost, and then press equals, and that'll give you 24. And then you can also do it again by selecting the cells, by selecting the amount cell, the asterisk, and then the price cell. And that'll give you also the total cost. And then this is a universal formula in Excel, and the interface notices that. So if you're doing like the same calculation over and over on different numbers, there's a way in Google Sheets where if you select your first cell with the formula and then select or drag it down to the next one and highlight both of those. And then go into the corner and drag the little X that shows up down to the end of where you want it to calculate. It'll calculate each of the total costs for the numbers that are given in the chart. So 24 times 1 would be 24, 8 times 2.5 is 20, 16 times 4. Moving on to the divide section of the Excel sheet, you are given the desserts, same desserts, the price per item this time, and the total cost. So you want to try and find the amount of item that the amount of each item you can buy with the total cost and the price. So to find that, you could do equals, and you're going to want to divide the total cost or divide the total cost by the price. So you select the total cost column and then divide it by the price. And then you could do 18 divided by 2.5 to get 8. You can get equals 5 divided by that. Gives you some random numbers, but they all work out. You can try the rest of them yourself because that'll be some good practice. And then we have 2 more functions that are pretty useful. So this time you're given the same desserts and the amounts of each you want to buy. And you're asked to find the minimum value of the amounts. So basically the minimum is the lowest number of the data set. So you could type equals min, which is the short cut for the equation or function. You're going to type in open parentheses, and then you're going to go up to the top number and highlight down to the bottom by clicking on all the cells or dragging down all the cells, and then type a close parentheses and enter, and that'll give you the smallest value in the data set, which is 8 in this case. And then to find maximum, you do the same thing, but type equals max, parentheses, highlight the first number, drag it down to the bottom one, and close the parentheses, and equals 36.
All right, now that we've shown you how to do it, it's time for you to try it yourself. Please go to the Google Sheets, and then at the bottom, you'll click on this tab called Data. And then from there, pause the video, try to answer these questions, and we'll come back to you with the answers.
All right, so now we're going to go over the answers to these questions. And so if you notice in the chart that we've given you, there are lots and lots and lots of numbers. There's like 600 something numbers. And so for each year, you're given all the months. So this would be January 1st, February 1st, March 1st, April, May, June. It goes all the way down up until it goes from 1972 to a very 2000 something. But to find the total, so you're asked to find the total consumption in 1973. So you can, this would be a sum function is what you're using. So you're going to do equals sum, and then you're going to want to scroll down to find where 1973 starts. And in the consumption column, you're going to highlight the first one and drag it down. Drag it down to the end of 1973, which is 1/12/1973. Highlight that, equals sum, parentheses. Highlight the first number, drag it down to the bottom, end the parentheses, and press equals. And it will give you the total consumption for 1973 was 995.8626 gallons. All right, so now we're going to find the percentage increase of consumption from January 1st, 1972 to February 1st, 1972. So that's the difference between these two, the percentage increase for these two cells that I've highlighted. So to do this, we've given you the equation. It's basically subtraction and division and multiplication and using all those things. So equals, you're going to select the second cell, subtract it. Actually, you're going to want to put parentheses, second cell, subtraction, the first cell, close the parentheses, divide, which is the forward slash, select the first cell again, and then multiply by 100 to get the percent. And that is 11.837 blah, blah, blah percent increase between January 1st and February 1st of 1972. And then for the last question, you're asked to find the maximum consumption of frozen desserts between 2010 and 2019. So this will be the maximum function. So you're going to type equals max. You're going to scroll all the way down to the beginning of 2010, which is very far down. And so it occurs on line 460. So you're going to select that, scroll, and drag all the way to the end of 2019, which is the last number of cell 579. Close the parentheses, enter, and it'll give you the maximum number of the maximum consumption, which is basically the biggest number per month in those years, and that's 143.95. So now we're going to go back to the PowerPoint and explain some more.
Perfect. So now we're going to move on to the graphing aspect of today's video. So we're going to show you how to graph this data now. So on Excel, we're first going to go to the graph data tab. Bottom, which is down there. And then you're going to pick any 5-year range from this data. For our ease, we'll just pick the first 5 dates, but feel free to pick any.
So you're going to go to the consumption column. You're going to select, I'm going to select the first 5 years, which is 1972 to 1977. And you're going to select all those numbers, making sure to include every month of the year. And then you're going to go to the insert tab at the top of the taskbar, press insert. You're going to go to press chart, and then it's going to give you a whole bunch of options on the right side. And we, for this exercise, we want to get a column chart, or actually we want this chart right here. It's a column chart made of lines. So that's how you make a chart. There's ways to customize it. You can change the style, you can change the colors, you can add a legend, you could add for titles and what the numbers mean. You can add axis titles, which is probably what you'll need to do in STEM things. Well, this is what the final graph looks like for the years we've selected. And basically you can notice a trend in the consumption throughout the years during different months of the year and what that might mean. So
yeah, so you'll notice that this doesn't really look like a standard bell curve or maybe like any graph you've ever seen before. And we are assuming that the reason for this oddly shaped graph is just because as the temperature gets colder, the consumption of frozen desserts definitely decreases. So it seems pretty consistent that over the year there becomes a peak in the summer months and then it sharply declines each winter. Perfect. And then Excel is related in many STEM courses because you'll often be given a lot of data and asked to do a variety of tasks. And Google Sheets or Excel make it super simple to do repetitive calculations that can be super tedious by hand, but super simple if you use a computer. And you're also able to visualize and analyze trends in data collection as we saw from the ice cream consumption. graphs. And then from our experience, spreadsheets are mainly used in the data collection stage and then used as further inputs for more advanced programming software. For example, the data can be collected on the Google spreadsheet, and then from there you could apply it to a program that's being programmed or other more complicated ways of analyzing this data.
Yeah, like in different labs, you could be asked to like do random equations with data that you're given and try to solve for different trends. And that is what we've had today. Thank you for listening to our video. We'll have another one explaining some more Excel functions shortly. So thank you.